Well, good afternoon. I'm not sure if you're going to see this in the afternoon or the morning, but it's good to be able to just sit and chat with you again. It's been a while since I've sent out a video like this in this particular format to the congregation. It's been wonderful to be able to have been back to the church and to be back in the building and to see ministry really starting to take off and really things getting going. It's been also wonderful to see how groups have been functioning and how life groups have been functioning and Bible studies have been functioning. And I really just wanted today just really come to you and encourage you in a couple of different ways. The first one is I was really challenged over the weekend where I saw a photograph, or in actual fact a whole lot of photographs of a friend of mine who is a pastor in Langa, and they've planted a church in Pakistan, and this particular church has just spread like wildfire, and the photographs were of this man who had to be protected because of the danger to his life going into Pakistan, but where the church, the people are just gathered in their hundreds and in some places in their thousands. The people just want to be together as God's people. And I must admit, to a degree, through COVID, there was just this desire to be together, and in a sense, there's been a bit of discouragement from my side where I've encountered almost that people don't want to be together like we used to be. And I really today just want to come to you and really challenge you, encourage you, and say to you, we need you here in the building. We need you back at church. We need you to be part of what God is doing through DVC. We know it's more convenient very often to just sit at home and to be able to watch the service at home. But we need to be able to engage with you. We need to be able to see you. We also need you to be involved and to be getting involved. There is so much ministry that is starting up again, and ministry needs hands and feet. And as Baptists, we believe in the priesthood of all believers, which simply means that it's not just about what I do, it's not about what Brett does and Keith does and what the elders do and what the deacons do. It's about what we all do as the body of Christ here at DVC. And I want to say to you, I really just want to challenge you to start attending, if you haven't been attending church. To get back to the place where we are together as God's people and where we are able to corporately worship Him together as His people. And to be able to go out there into the world. This is not so much about us. It's not so much about what we want or how we want, but it's how we need to be ministering to one another as the body of Christ. As I looked at those Pakistani believers, it really just struck my heart that here was a group of people that just wanted to be together as God's people, and it didn't matter if there was risk. It didn't matter if they were their lives were at danger. It didn't matter what the weather was like, whether it was good or not good. It didn't matter who it was that was preaching. It didn't matter who it was that was leading the worship. They wanted to be together as the community of God's people, and they took the opportunity to do that. And so I really want to challenge you to that this morning. I know there are still different things going around in terms of COVID and this and that and the other thing. But I also know that many of us have been in restaurants, we've been in shops, we've been all over the place, and yet we are still reticent or hesitant to come into a building like this and to be able to worship together with God's people. There's a part of me that simply doesn't understand that. And I wouldn't be honest if I weren't to say that. I love it, and I love being amongst God's people. We are so different in so many ways. There will be times that those differences will be a little bit more apparent than others. But I love the family of God. I love the church of Jesus Christ. And I love being together with people who love Jesus as much as I do. And so please don't withhold your fellowship from us on an indefinite basis. Plan to be back in the building. Plan to come back. Plan to take part in ministry. Plan to play your part as a minister of God's in His church and throughout the world. So thank you for the opportunity just to be able to encourage you and challenge you. And I hope you can hear my heart today. Let's come back together. Let's be together. Let's worship. Let's make that commitment. I remember a friend so many years ago saying to me, Basil, on Sunday mornings, I don't have to decide whether I will go to church or I won't go to church. That was a decision that I made 40 years ago. And when Sunday morning comes, my alarm clock goes off and I get dressed and I go. Not because it's become ritual. And yes, it is because I've made that commitment so many years ago. But also because that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. I want to be amongst God's people worshiping Him. That is an incredible privilege. In some parts of the world, people will walk miles and miles and miles and miles to be together for that real privilege. In parts of the world, people will risk their lives for that privilege. In parts of the world, people will meet in rundown shacks for that privilege. As Durbanville, let's get our shoes on and our clothes on the Sunday morning, and let's get into church. Let's be together as His people. God bless and have a fantastic day further.